Ever had to make a choice between purpose and comfort, where purpose will take away from your comfort? B'Nos Tzlafchad, the daughters of Tzlafchad in this week's Parsha, had to make that choice, says the Netziv. And I want to dig deep and understand why the Torah gives us this message as being the eternal message of the Torah, the final message of the Torah in Parshas Maseh, the last chapter of the entire Chumash, because the Chumash really ends in Bar Midbar. Devarim is a repeat. So what's the final message? If you open Parshas Maseh, what's the final message? B'Nos Tzlafchad. Rashi in this week's Parsha says, Shechavavu es Eretz Yisrael. They were like Yosef, who loved Eretz Yisrael. Yosef asked his bones to be carried all the way back. And Moshe Rabbeinu, the last 3 days of Mitzrayim, all he was doing was bringing up the bones of Yosef, and they carried them all through the Midbar. They carried them to Eretz Yisrael. So what's the message that B'Nos Tzlafchad loved Eretz Yisrael, Rashi says? How exactly did they love Eretz Yisrael? They just wanted equality. They wanted to be like the men. The land was divided according to the men, and the five daughters said, our father died, and we don't have any portion. So why can't we get a portion? This is the question of the Netziv. And I want to try to unpack with you why it's important in the Torah eyes to teach us this lesson. Says the Netziv the most amazing thing. Let's go back to Yosef. Yosef in Mitzrayim, the brothers come to get food. After they leave, the cup that he used at the meal that they had with all the brothers, where he was looking into the cup and he was saying, okay, Reuben, you sit next to me because you're the oldest. Yehuda, you sit here. And Binyamin, you sit next to me because you don't have a brother, just like me. So this magical cup that Yosef was using, he hid in Binyamin's backpack. The brothers leave, they travel for a day, they encamp, they open up their packs and they find the cup, the magical cup. And they say, oh my gosh, it's all over. Now they're going to take us. We're done. Because they knew that Yosef left, and now if Binyamin leaves, they're completely gone. So they ripped their garments. And the Medrash says, because they ripped their garments, Menashe is divided. Half is in Chutz La'aretz, half is in Eretz Yisrael. We know that Eretz Yisrael was only given to the tribes other than Gad, Reuven, and half of Menashe. So half of Menashe is in Chutz La'aretz and half is in Eretz Yisrael. Says the Netziv, the most amazing idea, that B'Nos Tzlafchad were from the portion of Chutz La'aretz. They were B'nei Chutz La'aretz. They had a big, nice portion in Chutz La'aretz. Yet they came to Moshe and they said, we want a portion of Eretz Yisrael. We want to be from the half of Menashe that's in Eretz Yisrael. And they were willing to wait 14 years, because it took 14 years from this Parsha until Yeshua divided up the land. So they waited 14 years to get a smaller apartment in Eretz Yisrael. Says the Netziv, the message of purpose over comfort is the message of B'Nos Tzlafchad. They said, even though we have a portion in Chutz La'aretz, we want to have a connection to Eretz Yisrael. We want to be in Eretz Yisrael. We want to have that. Eretz Yisrael should match what it is in Shemayim. And that's the final message of the Torah. So what does this mean for us today? How do we take this home? Because many people live in Chutz La'aretz. Not everybody was zocheh to come to Eretz Yisrael. Says the Sfas Emes, the most amazing idea. Every Shabbos is Eretz Yisrael. And on Shabbos, we have a choice. People who work all week, they can choose to sleep on Shabbos. But when we say that sleep on Shabbos is good, that's for people who learn all week. But people who work all week on Shabbos, we can open up a sefer, we can make a chavrusa and sacrifice, make a commitment for life. Just like B'Nos Tzlafchad made a commitment for life. The final message of the Torah in Parshas Maseh is come and join me and sacrifice your comfort for me. On Shabbos, we can open a sefer. We can make a chavrusa. If we're home, we can open up a sefer, something that we love. Choose something that we like. And make an extra kfiyas on Shabbos so we could take this message home. The message is purpose over comfort. It's either or. It's binary. We can't have purpose within comfort. There requires some sacrifice. Says the Torah, B'Nos Tzlafchad said, we want a portion of Eretz Yisrael. On Shabbos, we could have this portion of Eretz Yisrael, opening a sefer, making chavrusas, setting up time. Shabbos is long these days. We can open up Sfarim and be Mekadesh Shabbos with Bechinas of Eretz Yisrael. Have a great Shabbos.